Welcome to Let Me Know How It Is, a podcast about all things geek. This is the second in our Spotlight series where we focus on a specific show, movie, or creator. For today's episode, we focus on the 90s teen sitcom Saved by the Bell. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Quick word to the audience, we're recording this episode via remote, so please excuse any difference in sound quality. I'm Zack Slater.
I'm Frank Melman.
I'm Tommy Smithereen.
I'm Clifton.
All right, spotlight time, guys. Saved by the Bell. Saved by the Bell was a teen comedy that ran for 4 seasons on NBC. The show was spearheaded by then NBC president Brandon Tartikoff, who later appeared in an episode late in the show's run. The show was a bit of a gamble for the time slot it found. Saved by the Bell didn't air in primetime or after school. It aired on Saturday mornings. NBC's animated lineup, which had been running in those time slots at the time, had been losing viewers in the 10 to 12 age range. So they thought trying Saved by the Bell as something different could potentially work in reaching audiences at that age again. It paid off. Saved by the Bell was wildly popular and spawned 2 movies, 2 spin-offs, and became the model for even more teen shows that followed. Even 30 years after the fact, Saved by the Bell still seems to be relevant. The sequel series is planned to debut on NBC's soon-to-be streaming service, The Peacock, where Mark Paul Gosselaar, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, Mario Lopez, and Elizabeth Berkley are all slated to return in some capacity, surrounded by a new cast of kids for this iteration. No word yet on whether Dustin Diamond, Lark Voorhees, or Dennis Haskins will return, however. So let's get into it. Saved by the Bell.
All right. First, I'm going to bring up some little secret origin stuff about Saved by the Bell that I looked up and some I just remember. And I think one thing that a lot of people know is that the first iteration that they remember, at least, of Saved by the Bell was the sitcom Good Morning Miss Bliss that starred Haley Mills as the title character, Miss Bliss. It was later repackaged sometimes as Saved by the Bell Season 1. That's how it appears on Hulu. And it takes place in middle school with Zack, Lisa, Screech, and then 2 other friends, Nikki and Mikey.
And Milo. Don't forget Milo.
And of course, I can't forget Milo, who I could never figure out what his job actually was at the school. I couldn't figure out if he was the assistant principal or the custodian, but he was always the wisecracking, gave you your bits of wisdom and put everyone in their place. But I think one thing a lot of people don't know is that wasn't the first iteration of Saved by the Bell. The first iteration came a year before that show premiered, because that one ran on Disney Channel for 1 season before Saved by the Bell became an NBC show. But 1 year before Good Morning Miss Bliss ran on Disney Channel, the pilot for Good Morning Miss Bliss ran on primetime Saturday night in the Facts of Life time slot on NBC.
Oh.
And that one consisted of all different kids, which instead of, Dustin Diamond, Lark Voorhees, and Mark Paul Gosselaar as Zack, Screech, and Lisa, our 3 main boys in the pilot were played by Jonathan Brandis, Brian Austin Green,
Wow.
and Jaleel White, where Brian Austin Green played the nerd who would show up every day wearing a suit to school. Jaleel White was the normal kid that was just into sports and stuff, as far as I could tell from the pilot that I watched, which you can find online. And then Jonathan Brandis played this really depressed loner kid.
Oh, he was the brooder? Jonathan Brandis?
Yeah, he was the brooding, the brooding outsider. He was new in school and didn't have any friends and was mean to everybody.
That's hilarious.
And so you can find this some places online still, and that's how I was able to track it down. So that's the secret history of it.
That's really cool. I'd never known that because I'm a huge Saved by the Bell fan, but I've never actually seen that actual pilot.
Yeah, that pilot aired in 1987.
Wow. No, that's crazy. Jaleel White, that's the thing that cracks me up. And the funny thing, just really quick digressing, is because I'm watching a lot of Family Matters right now because it's on BET or something. And the thing that's getting me, looking back on that show is how good a performer he was. He really was, for a live audience. He had so much energy, and he was so good at physical comedy, and he was so good at playing different kind of things, especially when they would do their noir episode and their Wild West episode. He could he could be the same character, but like with a different hat on at the same time. Yeah, I'm really fascinated to see what that show would have been like with him. But
yeah, and it is funny to me in the pilot that he's not the nerd and Brian Austin Green is the nerd.
yeah,
So Brian Austin Green did kind of play a nerd on early 90210 as well. David Silver was not the coolest kid.
No, and then he became the broody one who was like in the guns and drugs and stuff.
Right. It all circles back around.
Yeah, it did. Well, yeah, and to finish that thought really quick, and Jonathan Brandis did appear in an episode of Saved by the Bell: The College Years as himself.
Oh, really?
In the Thanksgiving episode, yeah.
That one I did not remember.
Yeah, that's so funny.
After Ladybugs and all that.
Yep, exactly.
And Sequest.
So, all right, so what did you like about that? Like, could you see sort of the remnants of what the show would become in that pilot, or did they scrap like everything?
I mean, in that pilot, it's definitely what the Good Morning Miss Bliss season was. Like that I can totally see.
Okay.
But not much of it made through the transition over to actual Saved by the Bell. Like it still started with the voiceovers from Haley Mills and like super sappy like theme song that we don't see when Hulu shows season 1 of that. They just put the Saved by the Bell open on it.
Right.
But it had like this like super sappy like 80s music theme song. But yeah, I mean, I can see it carrying over to that, and then I don't think any of it made it to Saved by the Bell proper.
Okay, interesting.
But then pieces of the Good Morning Miss Bliss season did more than I actually remembered, because like Mikey is kind of like a proto AC Slater, but just not enough. Like they don't drive home enough that he's the jock, so he just comes off kind of more like a second Zack.
Yeah, they have similar hair too.
Yeah.
So much so, I mean, that's important though, because so like I got into the show in syndication, so I would watch it new, but I would really like kind of catch up on the ones I hadn't seen in syndication. And then I got to the Miss Bliss episodes. I'm like, holy crap, like look at Slater.
No,
like,
I was exactly the same way.
I'm like, Mikey, who's this kid? And I'm like, the Miss Bliss episodes were so weird to me.
Yeah, the very first time, because Saved by the Bell had been running probably at least a season before they ever started putting Miss Bliss into syndication. And I had never seen any of it. I didn't have Disney Channel. And like the first time I saw one, I'm like, why is Zack so young? I'm like, who's this teacher? And I'm like, is that like pre-puberty Mario Lopez? Like he really hulked out.
Yeah. Yeah, they're such a strange, I mean, there is some good ones in the Miss Bliss ones, but ultimately, like I would just kind of groan when those episodes would come on. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll do my homework while I'm watching these also instead of focusing on it.
Yeah, and the other main character from the Miss Bliss years was Nikki, and I did like they set her up as the girl who had been best friends with Zack since first grade or whatever, and she was the one who would call him out on, all the stupid stuff he would do. And I did like that relationship when I went back and watched some of it. And then I realized like, oh, like they really did just adopt all that for Jessie. Like when they brought in Jessie for Saved by the Bell, like they really saved a lot of that stuff that they had from Nikki and just put Jessie on top of it. So that was the one thing I hadn't realized carried over so much until I thought back on it.
Did you guys, when we were sort of going back and rewatching episodes, did you guys watch the Miss Bliss episode with where Screech has got the bully that can't read?
No, not at all.
No. I did just rewatch
you did
that
just
one.
Okay, let me ask you this then, Clifton. Okay, did you think that was David Boreanaz also?
No, I did not think that, but I can see it now. But
oh my God, I thought that guy was like his stunt double or something.
Jeez.
I do just remember looking at it, because like the other thing about the Miss Bliss years, they're in 8th grade. Like they're supposed to be in 8th grade at a junior high in Indiana. Like it's before they move him out to California and all that. And like when that guy comes in, like he looks like he's 34 years old.
Yeah, he does.
And he's supposed to be like an 8th grade kid that can't read.
Oh, wow. I forget the name of the actor that played him, but I mean, for years, I'm not exaggerating a second. For years, I have been trying to figure out if that was Angel in an episode of Saved by the Bell or not, because I knew the guy playing him was not credited David Boreanaz, but that was also one of those things. I'm like, well, he could have changed his name. He could have had like a stage name before, and like I'm gonna go with my real name or whatever. And this is also before IMDb you could look up like specific episode credits. This is only when like you could get like movie credits and stuff. So I couldn't even look it up anywhere. So for years I had been like in the dark, like wondering about like, is that him? Is that him?
Who played Deke on Good Morning, Miss Bliss?
I know. Yeah, exactly. Now you can find that out super easily. But yeah, that was that's one of the ones I actually kind of like from that range of episodes. I also like the one, although I don't think the ending makes it work, but the one where Screech is on trial for like pulling a prank on Miss Bliss. Like nobody's ever gotten Miss Bliss. Right. And then you find that like somebody like painted the chair that she's sitting on.
Right.
And, like,
she holds the whole court. She holds the whole mock trial for it.
Yeah. She does the mock trial for it and everything. And it was like, and you find out like she did it to herself because none of the kids were paying attention and none of the kids were focusing on like the civic stuff that she was teaching. And this was a way to get them all into
they were
it.
all obsessed with trying to pull a prank on her so they could concentrate on their lessons.
Yeah. But then at the end, she's like talking, like walking Screech to his locker, and she's like, "Why did you go along with it?" And even the explanation they give, I'm still like, that still doesn't really make any sense.
Because she framed him for it.
Yeah. Anyway, though, so let's any quick thoughts on Miss Bliss or anything like that before we move on? Anybody want to talk about Stevie?
I think Tommy watched a couple episodes.
God. The Stevie episode, really? I mean, I get it doesn't deviate from the personality of Zack, from what we've seen him progress into. But geez, having the college-bound senior kiss an 8th grader, just because, and as he does it like unbeknownst to anybody. I mean, is that really?
And just to mess with him.
Yeah.
No, I get it, but it'd be different if it's a kiss on the cheek.
Right.
She slowly kisses him on the lips as if it's like a first date. Yep. It was just disturbing. I mean, I get why she did it to mess with him. I always thought
she was into him too in that scene. I'm like she's into him.
but she's in the 12th grade while he's an 8th grader? Is that is that what I'm supposed to believe?
For the sake of Frank, we'll explain that. Like, so in this episode, it's called Stevie. Towards the end of Good Morning, Miss Bliss, there's a alumni. Well, I guess she's not an alumni. She's somebody who had gone to their high school or had gone to the middle school. So she was an alumni of their middle school. Comes back to visit, and she's become like this big teen pop star. But she goes by the name Stevie, but that's not her real name. So it's kind of like Gem. Like she's like, she has like a persona of Stevie, but then like the normal version of her, whose name is Colleen, is staying with Miss Bliss. And nobody knows that Stevie has another identity. So
it's Hannah Montana.
Girl. Right.
Yeah.
But before Hannah Montana, but after Gem.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, and he's got like a bet with Nikki, like whether or not like he can kiss Stevie because she's doing like a concert or something like at the school, and he's like, "I'll bet you." Yeah, like what do they end up betting? I forget. It's like
she has to wash his
laundry.
He has to wash her laundry.
Do his laundry.
Yeah, yeah.
Wash whose laundry?
Nikki.
They have to like do each other's laundry.
His friend that he's betting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Did John Byrne write this episode?
We'll be surprised. Would not be surprised. But it's so creepy.
I mean, the reason I ask that is because there's that totally being off topic. There's a Superman Batman, I think, Generations story where for some reason a teenage Lana Lang wants to kiss adult Superman. He says okay. That's why I asked. You know what I'm talking about, Tommy, right?
Yeah. It's that level of what?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So, but I'm gonna go into Seinfeld lore for a second, right? And there's a moment where like Kramer, his ability to attract women, somebody refers to it like he's got the Kavorka, right? He's got the Kavorka, the lure of the animal. Zach Morris absolutely has the Kavorka, right? Because he got Stevie, who's older, right? And in the first episode of Miss Bliss that actually ran is the one where they come back from summer vacation and he's dating Carla Gugino.
Yeah.
Who's a year older than him.
Yes.
Right. And the whole episode is he's lying about like I'm in 9th grade too. Right. And then also like later on down the road, after like him and Kelly break up, he gets that 18-year-old that like they start making the fake ID so they can go to that 18 only club.
Yes.
The attic.
The attic, right? Zach's got the Kavorka.
Yes. Yes.
Until his mom shows up at the club to take him home.
Yeah. That is one of my favorite episodes, though. I love the attic episode. It's just so absurd with Screech, like his ID says that he's like 54 years old and he's got like that huge beard.
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures from the episode, and yeah, there's no reason why that Zack should be kissing that girl.
Yeah. Not at all.
None, not at all. That's just wrong.
And then on top of that, she kisses him after he gives her bad advice. It's like, I would never lose stardom to go to college. That just seems like the dumbest move ever.
Right.
And so he gets rewarded with the kiss.
Yeah.
I was like, that makes no sure.
Okay.
But no, that's Stevie.
It's all right. It's Saved by the Bell.
So what is it about this show that you think is so timeless? First, like Jimmy Fallon a couple years ago is like doing like skits for this. Like it's a beloved show. Like I'm not saying any of this ironically. I genuinely love the show.
I don't know. I guess it's the time that kids just watched it. I mean, it was an anomaly in its placement at that particular time. No one expected that to be a live action show for the age range or for what it embodied, right?
I mean, it very much was like the Archie of that time period.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It started with, instead of the Betty and Veronica, competing over Archie, you had Zack and Slater, at least when we get to the Saved by the Bell proper, the Bayside years, competing over Kelly. So it was kind of like a reverse Archie in a way.
Yeah, I can see that. Could definitely see that.
Yeah, no, that's a good comparison. I remember when they announced Riverdale and Riverdale was revealed to be sort of like what it was. I'm like, this show should have been Saved by the Bell. Like, what are they doing? Like, I actually said that to somebody.
Well, maybe we'll get a dark and edgy Saved by the Bell reboot next.
Oh, I'm into it though. I'm into it. I'll check it out.
Because Riverdale, as great as it is just bonkers compared to the source material.
Right.
Yes.
That's just oof. So I can see the same thing with Saved by the Bell, but there'd be a lot more bodies dropping than.
The thing with Saved by the Bell that kind of like that made it work is that they're all archetypes, right? Like you got like the fashionista, kind of not that Lisa's a snob, but she's kind of like she's like the rich kid.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And then you got the jock, and then you got like the geeky awkward nerd that's brilliant, and the girl next door. And and the hyper like political one, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like one of the secret ingredients to that show is that on top of the fact that they actually had like I do think that it's a charismatic cast,
right?
Unquestionably, in my opinion. I think because especially when you look forward, skipping ahead, like when you look forward to like when they did like Saved by the Bell, the new class, and there's just like something about it doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. Like that cast just doesn't have the charisma that the originals had.
Sure, it happens though.
Yeah. Also, I think somebody always found them attractive. I mean, with the exception of maybe Dustin and Diamond, all of them could damn near be models in their own right. I mean, look at their where their careers progressed. No one never found them unattractive.
Right.
Interesting ensemble cast.
No, Mario Lopez looks like he hasn't aged a day. Since then, he really doesn't. Pictures from then to now look like makeover pictures only. Like that's it. Like they don't look like it's been 30 years.
Yeah, but I give Mark Paul credit because he just matured naturally in a weird sense. Like I agree with you with Mario Lopez. It's like he's stuck in time, but dude still looks attractive. Just at older levels of his life. Mark Paul, it's crazy. Like I don't think he's ever been off TV since Saved by the Bell.
Okay.
Like he's gone to just different shows.
Not really. No, I mean there was that weird period where everybody thought he was dead.
Yeah. But he's always been on TV.
Yeah, no, I mean he was on NYPD Blue for a little while, like towards the end, like he wrapped it up. I remember,
Yeah. Plus that what's that lawyer show he did with
Franklin and
on
Bash.
USA?
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot
It's
about
like-
that one.
Jeez.
Yeah. He's never not been on
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah, no. So okay, so let's get into like favorite episodes then.
Okay.
What do you got? Because if I start, I will be here all night.
No, you can lean in because I guarantee you'll trip upon one of ours
Okay.
in the very least, man.
So you won't guess mine. I don't think you'll guess mine, but go ahead.
So I said the attic one, which I love the attic one. That one is very, very high. We'll come back to that one. But I like the
Okay.
one where Slater starts getting into home ec. He starts getting into baking. And all the while, Zack's got a bet with like Nedick from Valley.
What?
You remember that one?
Yeah, I remember this one. It's the wrestling match.
It's a great one. Yeah. He German suplex Nedick when he comes back. He like Kurt Angle German suplexes him. It cracks me up every time. And then Screech's reaction afterward when the guy's like, like got his lights knocked out basically from it, and like Screech is sitting on him, and he's like, "What happened?" He's like, "I flattened you, wimp."
Right, because
Jeez.
while Slater was baking and not wrestling, Screech had put on like the little wrestling onesie and was going to wrestle Nedick.
Yep. No, that's a good one. Frank, which one were you talking about?
Oh, you're never gonna guess one because I don't have one. That's why that was the joke I was gonna make.
Nah.
That's why you would never guess it because I don't really have one. I recognize the cultural significance of the show and that lots of people enjoyed it. I know the characters more than I do the show itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the bigger moments like when Jessie freaks out about the pills and all that stuff. But
Sure.
as an actual show, I didn't really watch it. I just know about I just know more about the characters than I do the actual show.
Clifton, what about you?
Yeah, that scene happened in Jessie's song. By the way, that was the name of the episode where Jessie was addicted to caffeine pills because they were in the middle of midterms, and her and the girls were also in a singing group called Hot Sunday, where they were trying to get a record deal, and that's what was stressing her out and drove her to start taking pills.
Right.
You remember the music video that they shot for that episode?
It was pretty good.
It is, but you remember how it's got like a before and after?
No,
right?
I don't remember.
Like they're kind of it's got like a morph where like their clothes changes.
Right.
So they're like in regular workout gear, and then they're like in the hot workout gear. You remember that? It keeps going back and forth.
Like neon early 90s.
Yeah. That what cracks me up about that is I watch that video and I forget like what like which one like which time we're in. Essentially, like I forget, like, oh yeah, like we're not in the hot one. That's the hot one.
Jeez.
Okay.
It's weird to me. I don't remember specific whole episodes. I just remember moments,
Right.
Okay.
and a lot of it is with Zack being creepy,
Right.
or just like, for example, I remember one weird one where I think he takes pictures of the girls in order to sell as a
Yes.
calendar, and they don't know
Right.
it.
Yep.
That was just like, what the hell? I mean, and it's like he's the villain and the hero of the show. It's so weird.
Yep.
And he never learns his lesson, and no one ever truly recalls how messed up he is. They just move on and be like, okay, we're good.
It's just who he
But
is.
but my favorite one is the dance one. I thought the dance one was like sweet at the time that I saw it.
Which dance?
Which one? There's a bunch of dances.
Yeah, the one where Zack lies about dancing just because he's upset that Slater will have a better chance because he's a better dancer. So he makes
Casey Kasem one.
Right, Casey
the Casey Kasem one. Yes, the Casey Kasem one.
Dancing to the Max.
The first Casey Kasem one. I should be specific.
Yes, where it all ends up with Screech dancing with Larkin
Lisa.
or Lisa.
Yeah, with Lisa
Yeah.
in the cast. Yeah, that's right.
Where they invent the dance move called the sprain.
Yeah, where it's basically just hopping
Lisa
on your
sprained
foot.
her
Yeah.
ankle.
You just jogged my
Yeah.
memory about this. So this is one of the funny things about that show is like the origins of it, right? Because there's some episodes where you talk about Zack and Screech going like way, way back. We're like, they've been friends since like kindergarten, right? And then there's other episodes where you get the same thing with like Lisa, where like they all knew each other for a long time. And it's kind of like a throwback to Miss Bliss is the three of them like all knew each other for a long time. But the dance episode and Jessie's song episode both have also bits to it that hint at the fact that that Zack and Jessie are neighbors, first of all.
Right.
And
because they could go into each other's windows.
Yeah. And they knew each other the longest. At least is what it's kind of hint at. And it's kind of a thing that like kind of got forgotten about, but it's one of the things that I think is really sweet about that episode that you bring up, Tommy. Like, I like that one that like he's got this mega crush on Kelly, you know, but like he decides to dance with his friend.
Right.
Yes.
Because she's the one teaching him how to dance with Kelly. And she's nervous that like she's shy about dancing with anyone because she's so much taller than everyone. Yeah. So she doesn't want to do it. And then Zack decides to, you know, forget Kelly and Slater and just help his friend out. And it's a really nice moment.
Yep. And Kelly is pissed.
Yeah, you see the look on her.
You remember?
Like, so you don't
come
want
on,
to dance
Slater.
with me?
Let's go practice. Like she's venom in her eyes.
Yeah, she's so mad. I'm like, you want him? You're fine competing against you, but as soon as he bows out completely to help his friend, you're like, "F you."
Yeah.
There's wow.
Yeah, no, it is like when I started a rewatch and I did get to that episode, I was like, oh yeah, like I remember they did this sometimes with this Jessie and Zack friendship. And then watching more and more, like they actually did stick with it longer than I remembered the first time around. Because all I ever remember is like Zack and Screech, Zack and Kelly. But it does come up a lot in at least the first 2-3 seasons of Bayside, where like they constantly refer to Jessie and Zack as being best friends, like more so than the others. And I was surprised that it did happen more than I remembered, because it was something I always really liked about it. I liked that dynamic.
Yeah, the other episode that's kind of hinted at too is you remember when he runs the microphone into Jessie's room because she's gonna have a slumber party and he wants to find out like if Kelly's like really into him or if she's into Slater, like if she's gonna take which one she's gonna take to the dance.
Right.
And it's another one like there's a bit of that.
Yeah.
You know?
The Dancing to the Max episode was actually that aired as the first Bayside episode of like Hulu listed as Saved by the Bell season 2 episode 1, but most things would call it Saved by the Bell season 1 episode 1. But it wasn't the first episode that they filmed in order, because there's an episode that runs towards the end of that season that is Slater's first day at school. And that I think was totally supposed to be the first of the Bayside episodes that they for some reason decided to hold off on and then did later as like a Zack flashback where he's starts with a voiceover like the Miss Bliss shows, but it's Zack saying like, oh, I remember the first day I met Slater, and then goes into this whole episode.
Is that the one where he convinces everybody that Slater's dying?
No, I don't think that's that one. I think that was another one.
Okay. That's a good one too, though. I like that one.
So what I was going to ask was, do you think that like they had the Red Skies moment between Miss Bliss and Saved by the Bell proper, where they just were like, okay, well, now that the universe is basically cool and reformed,
right?
We can just put Jessie in the role of, what was the other girl's name in Miss Bliss?
Nikki. In
Nikki's role, and that would be okay. Like people would know.
And Mario Lopez as Mikey.
Yeah, no, like basically, like no one's gonna, who's gonna take the time to dig through all these episodes,
right?
As we are now,
yeah.
To basically point out that, well, this doesn't line up because they didn't have the continuity proper.
right. I mean, it really is like a relaunch or like a post-crisis moment at that, because like not like now they've got these like new best friends that they've supposedly been best friends with for their whole lives almost, and then the principal is also now in California with them when they all used to be in Indianapolis, Indiana. At what was it, John F. Kennedy Middle School?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Or junior high, I can't remember.
Because I know of the Miss Bliss, the Haley Mills stuff. I know it's a thing that happened.
Right.
So is it a feeling of Earth 1, Earth 2 with the Miss Bliss show?
Yeah, I think it's a good analogy.
Okay. All right. Very good.
It feels to me like when Miles Morales got moved into the Marvel universe proper, and like some stuff carried over and other stuff didn't, and you were like, huh?
Right.
Like Like,
Right,
that's
sure.
exactly what it feels like to me.
Okay.
You're going to keep these 4 characters. We're never going to bring. They should have kept Milo, though. I love Milo.
Yeah, Milo is great.
Yeah.
Guess it wasn't magical enough.
But one of the other things that I think kind of got lost as the show went on that I wish they focused on a lot is I liked Kelly's family life. She had like a huge family. Like she had 7 brothers and sisters or something.
Right. I have notes about that because I was keeping track in my rewatch.
Okay.
Because there was a lot to keep track of.
How many did we actually meet? Let me see if I can name the ones that we actually meet.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So we see her dad in the prom episode.
Right. When we find out she's poor.
Right. When she finds out she's poor and he lost his job.
Okay.
Right. Right. Okay.
Jeez.
We meet his little sister that has a crush on Zack when they're doing the teen line.
Right.
Right. Is that Nikki?
And her name is Nikki.
Okay.
So they reused the name.
That's true. That's right. Oh, duh. That's right. Okay. We meet her baby brother.
Correct.
Like, as a baby, when she brings him into class one day, and they have to they take turns taking care of him.
Right, because she breaks her arm at like cheerleader photos for the yearbook or something, and then she leaves, and like now they're just stuck with her baby brother. So Zack ends up babysitting the kid all through school, and then loses him. And his name is Billy.
Perfectly normal.
Okay, and then there's one more brother,
right,
that we hear but we don't see.
Correct.
Right. That's in the hot nurse episode.
Right.
Right.
When Zack falls in love with the school nurse.
Yeah. He yells at Zack, basically when he's like walking Kelly to her door.
Right.
And he's like, you better keep moving, buddy.
Yeah.
Like,
he just insults Zack from off screen.
Yeah. And I can't remember his name.
His name
but
is
I remember
Kyle.
Zack yells at him.
Right.
Kyle. That's right.
His name is Kyle.
Right. Did I miss any?
That is, at least those are the only 3 I remember being named.
Okay.
But then, because they all get introduced like one by one, like she never says she has a big family. She never says anything about her family till we find out she's poor. Then we see her younger sister, then the baby brother, then hear the like older younger brother still. And then I think it's in one of the Jeff episodes that she says, right, hold on, we'll get to that. We'll get to Jeff. It's in one of those episodes when she's applying to be a waitress at the Max that she tells him that she sets a table for 9 every night.
Right.
So I assume she has then 6 siblings, so 7 kids total.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, make me poor too.
Yeah, me too.
That's why she couldn't afford to go to prom.
And there it is. Well, that many kids at home, she could have her own prom at home. Yeah.
I do like that prom episode.
Yeah,
I think that's
a
a good one too. That's a sweet one, I think, too. Where like they end up having their own prom, like behind the school, like at the picnic table and everything.
Right.
And he puts up like that banner that's like Zack and Kelly's prom. And,
right.
Wrestles a piece of cake from Alvin. Right.
Alan.
Sorry.
Yeah. Alan the nerd who ate the icing off the cake.
Yep. Yeah, I like the prom episode a lot. And that's also where we start to get Slater and Jessie, right?
Yeah, that's their first date.
Yeah. Good show. All right, let's get into Jeff. That jerk. Hate Jeff. And his beautiful hair.
Well, didn't he go on to star on like Melrose Place or something?
I think so. Yeah, he pops up in things from time to time. And what's funny, though, too, is like what cracks me up about Jeff also is Kelly has a type because he looks a lot like the guy that she falls for in Hawaiian Style, which is one I forgot. So we meet her grandfather in Hawaiian Style.
Right.
Oh, almost missed that one.
But yeah, so Jeff, for Frank's benefit here, Jeff is the like college guy who becomes a manager at the Max, like their diner that is kind of on campus at their high school or very close by or something.
Right.
They're never very clear on that. And Kelly and Zack have been going steady for a while at this point.
Sure.
And she's, because she's poor, of course, which they bring up every so often, she has to try to get a job at the Max, and Jeff is her dreamy new boss.
Okay.
And then in one episode, like she's ready to dump Zack after like 2 seasons. Or I guess they'd been together 1 whole season by that point. And just like, dumps Zack and goes with the cool college guy.
Gotcha.
Who was played by Patrick Muldoon.
Yep.
Gotcha. I was gonna say her grandfather was played by Dean Jones from all the Disney movies.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was in a lot of the Disney stuff.
She breaks up with him at another dance, like the costume dance, right? When they go as Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, that's where she breaks up with Zack.
Yeah. And she's not in the band for whatever reason, which I never understood because they're banned. They have a band.
All of a sudden
revealed.
at the start of season 3.
Yeah. They were playing the dance, but Kelly wasn't there for whatever reason. I never understood that. I was like, why is it here? Because she's working. She's got to work because she's poor.
Right. Exactly.
Jeez.
What choice does she have? She's poor.
She's poor. That's no explanation. She's poor. Oh, okay.
So do you remember when everybody else is trying to set up Zack though, because they're like, you got to get over her,
right?
And they're all he's looking for a date to go to Lisa's birthday party, and so they all set him up with a date, and he keeps seeing the same movie over and over again, and it's a montage of all the dates.
I never pieced together that it was the same movie,
right? Because they keep reacting to the same soundbite of the silencer gun going off, and the woman screaming, and his date and all of their dates like react differently to it.
Right?
Jeez,
that's a pretty good bit.
That is a good bit. It is a good bit. I always like the one that Slater sets him up with, because she's a gym rat. Right. And she shows up, she's in like a tank top, and she's chiseled, and she's in shorts, right? And then she's the one, like, the scene gets cut in syndication, but after the gunshot, she's like stands up and she's yelling like, "Get him, kill him, kill him!" And Zack starts trying to get away. She's like, "Where are you going, Blondie? Sit down. The date's not over." It's awesome. Oh, Jeff. Stupid.
Yeah, luckily Jeff didn't last too long. He's only around for like 4 or 5 episodes or something before he cheats on Kelly at the attic.
Yes, at the attic.
It all comes back to the attic.
They had a plan. I'm telling you. It's all.
Jeez.
All right, what about the Malibu Sands episodes? Because we got to get into those, because there's some good ones there too.
Right.
The volleyball one, I like the volleyball tournament with the 6'8" guy that they get to be on their team.
Right. Yeah, so I mean the big thing that's obviously the most notable thing about the Malibu Sands episodes is that they guest star Leah Remini.
Right.
Like teenage Leah Remini as Stacey Carosi.
Yes. That I remember for some reason, but I don't know why.
Who is she? Just starting college? Or is she in college?
I cannot remember the details on that one. I just remember her dad owned the club. Right.
Her dad owned the club in Malibu, but she's going back to New York. I remember it's the episode, it's the last episode of the Malibu ones. And I always got the hint that she was in college, which again, Zack with the Kavorka.
Right. She might have been going to start college. I can't remember.
Isn't her dad in that episode Pumbaa?
Yes. You are correct. Ernie Sabella, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff, but yeah, he was
Mr. Carosi.
Yes,
he did not like Zack.
No.
Until the last one, when it's revealed he likes Zack. As always, that's
everyone always likes Zack.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other ones. Yeah, I really like the volleyball one. Because also I like the bits where that just seemed like a fun setup for me when I was a kid watching that. Like, oh man, they're at the beach all summer and they're working, and that's cool.
I remember being confused by them when they aired, because I'm like, why is this so different now?
Right.
I'm like, who are these people? And then they just stayed there for like 6 episodes. How many episodes was Malibu Sands run?
I thought it was like 4
Oh,
or
I'd have to
5.
look that up. I don't remember how many it is.
Well,
But I mean, but it's a good many of them.
Yeah, it's a chunk of that season.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some good stuff in that one though, but I like that you see at one point like the guys come to the girl's house, because that's the reveal, not the reveal, but that's sort of like the setup, is that like Lisa's parents like have a house out there and they're part of the club that Carosi owns. So they all get, so like she gets them all jobs over there, but Lisa doesn't work. She's
right,
just there
all
as a
the
guest
kids
whole
have to
time.
have jobs, but she's a member of the beach club.
Yeah.
because she's not poor.
Right.
No, she's not poor at all.
Poor.
She doesn't have to work to supply food for 7 other people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The only time she has to work, remember, is when she rings up too much money in her dad's credit card. And her dad's like, yeah, okay, fine, let's go to Sizzler. And she's like, no, I want to pay it off. I want to show you that I can pay it off. You remember?
Yeah, I do remember that one. And I remember her surgeon mom also made her be a candy striper at the hospital once.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. When Zack hurts his knee.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a fun one too. With the dream sequence funeral.
Right. Which one thing notable about that was normally the dream sequences, they all had like a hot pink border.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like it was like a hot pink vignette around the whole screen. But for some reason on that one, I guess because it was supposed to be somber, instead of hot pink, it was like a white vignette.
Yep.
Jeez.
That's all I remember about that.
Telling you, man, there's more to the show than people realize.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But the other thing is, so like, if I remember right, when they aired, because the order is different when I go back and look at it on Hulu and stuff, they mix and match, Saved by the Bell, Bayside episodes and Malibu Sands episodes. So you just get one, then another, then back to Bayside, then back to Malibu Sands. But if I remember right, that ran at the end of season 3 of Bayside Years. It's season 4 on Hulu, or beginning of what would have been the final high school season. Because I just remember them going from the beach straight to like the Tori episodes when all of a sudden Kelly's not in school.
Yeah.
And we have like this other new girl.
So this is how I remember it. And I could be completely wrong about this. So I took this episode as a challenge to not do any research for it. I'm going purely off of memory here.
Okay.
For this stuff. But what I remember possibly about how the Malibu episode shook out is I think Saved by the Bell might have gone to an hour at some point. And
right,
I think
on Saturday mornings.
Yeah, and I think one episode was them at school.
Right.
And the second episode was always like a Malibu episode.
That does sound familiar to me.
And I think that's why they got kind of staggered the way that they are with it. Because then if you look at it in air order, that's why it's like one after another, either or. And it's like school, beach, school, summer,
right.
School, summer, school, summer.
That does make sense to me.
Yeah. But there was always there was an episode that for years I was always puzzled about, because it always seemed like they filmed it years after the fact.
Right.
But it's supposed to be the first day of school after summer when they get back from Malibu. Right?
Okay.
You remember this one? And Zach's mom basically makes Zach stay home for the first day because
I don't remember this one.
Because they're like, oh, like it's a clip show.
Okay.
It's a clip show, but it's like you work too hard over the summer. You really burnt yourself out with everything. So like, I need you to stay home and just rest the day. And so he's there, and like Lisa comes to the house to check on him because Mr. Belding is worried. And then Slater comes to the house to check on them because Lisa hadn't come back. Right. It's a weird one. And Jessie and Slater don't actually appear in the episode.
Okay.
They call him. So it appears to maybe have been shot during the time when the Tori episodes were happening, when they weren't there.
Right.
Right. But it's supposed to take place after the Malibu Sands episode. And it's a clip show of all of that stuff. And
right.
And Jesse's dad's wedding in Palm Springs, which was supposed to be the same summer.
Oh yeah, I do remember those.
Ooh. Well, real quick, going back to celebrity appearance of people you can recall, the one person I can recall, because you guys definitely have a better memory of this show than I do, is Screech had a girlfriend.
Yep.
Yes.
Wasn't that Tori Spelling?
Yep.
That is correct.
Violet.
Yeah.
Violet and Bickerstaff.
Yeah. Jeez, yes. Yeah.
Also rich.
Oh yeah, she was rich because her parents didn't want her dating Screech.
Yep.
Yeah, she appeared in like one episode early on where she was like another nerd's girlfriend. And Screech is like, well, if she were my girlfriend, like I would treat her right or whatever. And then like she's in that episode and then she's like a long time gone. And then she just reappears and they're dating in one episode.
Right. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like a season and a half later.
She gives him the good luck bray for the chess team.
Yes.
So Screech murdered that guy? Wait, I'm confused. Did Screech murder the other guy and take her?
No,
or what happened?
he appears later on. I'm trying to remember that guy's name.
Okay.
Off camera.
Her first boyfriend.
Yeah, dumped him in
Yeah,
the woods.
he's a rich snot too.
Right.
Okay.
And he really wants to date Jessie. That was the gimmick. Like he was trying to get a date with Jessie.
I'm just writing. I'm just writing the reboot as we're sitting here, so that's what I'm asking. Okay, that's my storyline right there with Screech.
That's your gritty Bayside show.
Yeah,
So for the reboot, Frank, would you bring back Screech's robot?
of course.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have to.
You have to.
Of course.
But it's like
But
Terminator.
it's like Terminator.
Right,
Yeah.
but it only wants to be loved, but it can't. So therefore,
Yeah.
it kills.
Exactly.
Of course, absolutely.
Kevin just jogged my memory of another really good episode. You remember the beauty pageant episode?
Yes.
And it's kind of like She's All That, where like Zach's got a bet with Slater
right.
that he can sort of like manage the winner of the pageant, but Slater gets to pick out who it is.
Right. Like he can make anybody a winner.
Yeah, he can make anybody a winner. And then he's like, all right, Screech.
Jeez.
Yeah, that one's one of my favorites too. And Jessie during the bikini competition comes up with a trench coat.
Right.
And she's like, I am still wearing a bikini under here. It's blue with red stripes. But she doesn't show anybody.
Jeez. So, in speaking of guest stars, I didn't realize it at the time because I didn't watch the college years. Again, I know that it happened, but I didn't know this, Tommy. But the guy that plays Patrick Fabian, who plays Howard on Better Call Saul,
Oh, yeah.
was on
Lasky.
the Yeah, he's the professor. He's
Yep.
like the professor that Kelly gets with, right?
Oh, wow.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, Saved by the Bell of college years. I could do an episode on
That might have to be another spotlight.
I'm telling you guys right now, just in case you didn't realize, there is a DVD copy of Saved by the Bell of college years in this house right now.
Wow.
Is one of the discs currently in your player playing?
Not currently in my player, but it's in this house. I liked it so much, I spent money on it.
It is on Hulu for anybody who wants to watch it.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, Patrick Fabian was
Yep.
like a full head of hair playing the professor that Kelly gets with. So.
Good deal.
Yeah, a couple other guest spots. I remember, like we mentioned, Carla Gugino from Good Morning Miss Bliss, Tori Spelling. Soleil Moon Frye is in an episode
Oh wow!
in, I think, the last high school season for Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Screech's spaghetti sauce.
Yep.
As Punky.
No,
No.
not as funky. That'd be
That'd be great.
that should have been
though.
a shared
course.
universe.
Okay. Punky.
Can you remember any others, Zach?
Should we talk about Scott Wolf, Clifton?
Oh yeah, Scott Wolf. Yeah, I was rewatching an episode, the Glee Club episode, where they were all in choir together because like they would win a trip somewhere or something. So that's why
Are they trying to get to regionals?
probably. They were probably trying to get to regionals.
Okay.
And in that one, like one of the other kids in the choir with them, I'm like, is that Scott Wolf? And it was. Like Scott Wolf was a recurring extra on Saved by the Bell, where he was like
Wow.
sometimes in their class, he was sometimes a waiter at the Max.
But Scott Wolf wasn't in Kids Incorporated, was he?
I can't remember if he was in Kids
That I
Incorporated.
don't know.
Oh,
Because I know like a bunch of some of those kids. Like I know like Jennifer Love Hewitt, and I thought
Jennifer
he
Love
was
Hewitt.
another one.
okay. And Fergie from Black Eyed Peas, wasn't she?
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought Scott Wolf was too. But
He might have been. I wonder. I'm going to look that up.
I don't know if he's ever named as the thing in Saved by the Bell, but I imagine that there's fan fiction for that character because I write it. No, I'm kidding.
I don't even know if he ever gets dialogue.
No, I don't think he does either. I don't think he ever talks, but he's in the background of a few. Like he works at the Max. Do you remember the episodes? So we didn't even talk about Max at the Max, the magician that owned the place. That
Right, he was a little creepy.
Yeah, that fell off the face of the earth a little bit. But do you remember? Which it was just kind of even creepier, like the older failed actor.
Yes.
That's working at the Max that kind of like always helps Zack like in his schemes and stuff like that.
Right, like the poor man's Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah. Yeah, where like he impersonates his dad in one episode he impersonates his dad and then he impersonates Belding to Zack's dad.
Right.
Yeah.
For a parent teacher conference.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just quickly, Scott Wolf was on Kids Incorporated.
I knew it.
So that was a good pull, Frank.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh God, I love the show. So much.
Yeah, Max was not a good Milo replacement.
No.
Wow. Okay.
No. But the thing that I always wish that the scenes that I imagined happened that you never see, right? In my own like fan fiction head is Max was teaching Zack illusionist tricks.
Close
right?
up magic.
Right. So it was helping inform like his schemes and all that stuff to get ahead. That was always, he and Screech were like his tech guys, like the man in the chair.
Right.
So he was teaching Zack and the young Phil Dunphy the ways of magic.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool.
Oh, I bet Phil Dunphy likes Saved by the Bell though. You know he does.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
I'm sure he loved it.
Yeah.
Especially the cheerleading episodes.
Yeah.
Ah.
So we're forgetting also about like the weird one-offs, which is again again, sorry to bring up like Family Matters, but this is what I loved about TGIF is that like a lot of those shows would have these weird one-off episodes where they would do like a Dracula episode for Halloween and everything like that. And it would sometimes have like a frame narrative of like somebody wrote a short story and they're reading it and everybody's cast is in the Wild West and stuff like that. But Saved by the Bell kind of did that too, only they're like in continuity. Maybe one not so much, but there's the one where like the Zack Attack episode where they're where the band goes national.
Right, like the behind the music episode.
Yep. Another Casey Kasem episode, by the way.
God.
So there's that one. My personal favorite, the murder mystery one. You remember that one?
Right.
Yeah, the murder mystery one where they go on they all go stay at like a posh hotel, everything, and it's supposed to be a murder mystery weekend, but somebody actually dies, and then like the game is over, and then Zack gets framed for the murder because of course who wouldn't believe that guy who sold the school like 8 times or whatever like wouldn't be the murderer and everything. Yeah, I love that one. I get so excited when that episode comes on.
Jeez.
Because it's suspenseful. Like they're fleeing the place in the middle of the night. Like they're trying to pack their stuff because there's an actual murderer on the loose.
Right.
Oh, good stuff.
It's very edgy Saturday morning entertainment.
It was.
It feels that way.
We should go into college years really quick because I love college years, and I've been trying to think all week.
Yeah, you spent money on it.
Yeah, I've been trying to think all week about like what it was. And I don't quite know why I gravitated to college years so much. One was that like it was in primetime.
Right.
It was a primetime show. So I remember hearing like interviews with some of the producers and stuff like that they thought they had to like up the laughs to compete with like primetime shows.
Right. Like they're going against Friends at that point.
Yeah,
well, not against. They're on the same network.
Not against them. They're on the same network.
But that's what they're trying to reach the quality of.
Yeah. But there's just something about like kind of the freedom aspect that they had. Like I liked the first episode where they go like Slater's not the best wrestler there when he was like a wrestling phenom the whole time.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Zack, like his schemes have trouble kind of gaining momentum because he's not the big man on campus. Right. And the girl for the first time is like not really into him, but she's kind of quasi into him.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a little bit of a push-pull thing with them. I kind of like that episode. And I also think that Screech kind of comes into his own in those episodes as well.
Yeah. I just remember the nitrous oxide one, where somebody was trying to
the
get
rave.
Screech to steal a tank of nitrous oxide for their
Yeah.
party.
Yeah. Who I think that guy ended up being on Baywatch for a little while.
Oh, it would not surprise
Could
me.
be wrong.
There's probably a lot of crossover.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. And the dean of students is Charlie Sheen's mom. Charlie Sheen and John Cryer's mom from 2.5 Men.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, she's awful in both shows.
Was that Holland Taylor?
I think that's her name. Yeah.
Possibly.
Oh, wow. Like, she's done a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot on stage. I didn't realize she was in there.
But I mean, there's just something about, like, I do think, because Kelly's not in the first episode, but I think they realized very quickly, like, we need one of the girls to come back. And so they brought Kelly back in, like, the second episode.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when, like, really the Betty Veronica thing started up, because Zack, like, was into Leslie in the first episode, who's the blonde girl who is kind of like the dorm mates, I'll say. Like, there was a common, like, family room.
Right. They shared a living room and had guys' room off of one side and girls' room off of the other side of this living room kitchenette.
Yeah. And she was the one that was kind of like quasi into Zack, but also not. Like, she was going to make him, like, work for it a little bit, you know? And then Kelly shows up, and then he starts getting, like, feelings for Kelly again. And it's sort of like, for a little while, like, I don't know which way to go. There's an actual episode that revolves around that completely. Like, I don't know who to pick, you know? Yeah. No, I really liked College Years. I really, really liked it.
And yes, that was Holland Taylor. You are correct.
Yeah. Like, I saw her in stage as who was the governor of Texas, Ann Richards. It was like a one woman show a few years ago where she played Ann Richards.
She was also in Bosom Buddies.
Another classic.
Yes.
Spotlight on Bosom Buddies coming.
No.
No, I've never seen it. I've never, like, you know, I know it's the Tom Hanks
right
sitcom, but that's all I know.
We'll just have to do a spotlight on Perfect Strangers then.
There we go. I'm into that. But yeah, so going back to the College Years. So do you remember how it wrapped up?
I don't remember how it transitioned.
No.
So Zack and Kelly are gonna get married. Right?
Okay.
And they try and make it happen, but the wedding itself, like, they can't go through with it.
Okay.
And then that spins off into the second movie,
right?
Which is The Wedding,
right?
Where Zack and Kelly actually get married in Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, there was a plan. They had this stuff all worked out. A huge board in the writer's room with index cards and a conspiracy.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Jeez.
So I wanted to bring up a couple of things that I just caught on to when I looked back at some information about this when I was doing some research. And one of them is, and this one I think will make everybody feel old, it's that the first episode that Dennis Haskins ever appeared as Mr. Belding, he had just turned 38 years old.
What?
Yes.
He's 38?
He's 38 years old in the first episode he ever filmed.
Oh my God.
And so that was the Miss Bliss season. And so he's 38 through that, but then he's also still 38 when, like, the Bayside season hits. And, like, I just remember, like, he was always the epitome of, like, ancient in my mind.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, he's the teacher. He's boring. He's just the old man. But yeah, he was 38 years old when that show started.
Wow.
Feel old.
Jeez.
So his young days were not that far removed. So that explains why in the early season he's got, like, that Casanova complex where, like,
right.
You remember when he's, like, working out at the gym?
Oh, yeah.
And he's, like, looking at himself in the mirror with his gut sticking out.
Right.
Oh, Big Bopper Building.
Oh, yeah. That was when when we found out he was the rebel DJ in the 60s.
Yep, that's
at
a
the
great
school
one,
radio
too.
station.
I love that one, the telethon to save the Max, when they just get the radio station back.
and Slater's a terrible sportscaster.
Yep. The review is he should become a mime.
But yeah, the other thing I was going to bring up is my favorite memory about Saved by the Bell, and it's actually not anything on the show itself. And it happened when I was in college. And I was in a writing course in college. And I went to, my classroom a little bit early one day, and I get there and I see one of my best friends at school sitting there alone in the classroom, like staring attentively at the chalkboard at the front of the class. And so like from outside, I can't see who he's talking to. I assume he has, like an appointment with the professor or something. And then I walk in and I see at the chalkboard is our other friend named Dave. And like my friend Jose, who was the one in the classroom, is just like studying like whatever Dave's talking about. And I get in there and I see Dave at the chalkboard where he has drawn an entire like cross-sectional graph that listed in the two axes every character from Saved by the Bell on one axis, and the other axis was every school dance that appeared in the whole series. And you could cross-reference where every character was at which dance and with who and what they did at that dance. And this wasn't for class. This was before class started. Like, this is just what he was doing, like to kill time. And it was intense. That is my funniest memory, because I'm like staring at this thing and like it all checks out, because I'm like, well, there's prom and Kelly was too poor to go. Alan ate the icing off the cake, and they had prom in the backyard behind the school. Well, for one, like I still don't know like what precipitated that. I don't know why he did it.
No, it's bizarre for sure. But I have a moment like that though too. I will say so. Like, I love lists. Like it's one of my like I like making lists like in my spare time and stuff like that. Like I don't know, I just relax that way. And there was one time I was thinking about Saved by the Bell, and I was like, I wonder who dated the most. I'm like, it's probably Zack, but I wonder like who's in second. Like who had the most relationships on the show? Who went on the most dates? And I started like trying to go like by memory, like who dated the most people. And like I got the list on my phone right now. Like I'm looking at
You'll be able to see this list in our episode notes at our website.
This is the one. Just I swear to you, just off in memory. But Zack has the distinction of dating like every girl on the show.
Right.
So top of his list is Kelly, but he dated Lisa for an episode. Remember, I put Jessie kind of because like they kissed when they were doing the Snow White play. Remember the rap version of Snow White?
And that kiss got a bigger audience reaction than any of his kisses with Kelly.
Yeah. Stacey Carosi he dated. Right. Tori he dated. Right? So it's like all the leads, but we're forgetting the girl in the wheelchair.
Right.
Right? Slater's younger sister he dated. Slater's ex he dated. The girl that he and Slater fought over. You remember they got into a fist fight?
Right.
Right? The record manager in the Dream, Casey Kasem, like Zack Attack episode. The 18-year-old girl in the attic episode, all the girls from the Kelly breakup episode that I told you about, right?
Screech's cousin in that episode.
Screech's cousin, Wendy, right? Who was the girl from the date auction?
Right.
No. She was the girl that won Zack at the date auction, but the girl that Zack actually wanted to date was the one that Wendy beat out at the date auction.
Okay.
Yeah. Rhonda was the early one, that kind of like the tomboy girl that was like, yo, hey, Zacky. You remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
God.
He's got a lot. We'll put this list up on and if there's any more, and if I missed any, like, leave it in the comments. Tell me where I'm wrong, because the one that I think dated the least, you guys want to guess?
Lisa.
Screech?
I think it's Jessie.
Really?
Oh, okay.
I think I could only remember two. Like one was Slater.
Yeah.
And the other one was the short guy from the dance episode we talked about.
Yeah, Lisa's friend.
Yeah.
So here's something you probably didn't know. This is something I found out just last week when, again, doing my quote unquote research, just fell in my lap. So I'm watching Colbert, and Colbert is interviewing Ryan Reynolds, and they're talking about first auditions. And Colbert says, well, back in '86, I went on audition for a small show that you may have heard of called Saved by the Bell.
Oh, if only.
And that Colbert tried out for the part of Screech.
Oh, if only.
So he says he went in the audition. It's his first like professional audition. And he said, and now looking back at what the character was, he's like, I gave my performance. And one of the notes they gave me was, in the industry, there's such a thing as being over the top, and you don't want to do that.
Wow.
And he was so over the top that they couldn't choose him for Screech.
Wow. He was more broad than Dustin Diamond.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you know how nuts that is.
Oh my God. He must have been like Jack Sparrow up there.
I looked at the time he would have been 21 playing
Wow.
Screech if he gotten it. So
Oh man.
yeah, I thought it was amazing that he told that story and that he tried out. So
That's some good trivia.
yes.
We should start closing out, but what's something, because it's coming back. We don't know when. It doesn't have an actual release date yet. I was looking into this for a while. It doesn't have an actual release date, but we know that they're working on it and they're filming it. So there is a sequel series coming. What's something that we want to see from the sequel series?
I want Miss Bliss to come back.
Ooh. Okay.
And Milo.
Okay.
And Milo.
You want the Girl Meets World thing. You want like an acknowledgement of the history.
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm with you on that. This is what I want. I want them to still be close.
Right.
Is the thing. Like, I hate when we get sequel series and it's like they've all grown apart and I haven't seen everybody in years and stuff like, you know. No, none of that. I want everybody to still be close and still know each other and, you know,
Still hanging
still
out
friends
at the
for
Max.
yeah, sort of. Except they're hanging out the governor's mansion because that's the. Had you guys heard? That's one of the things for Zack is the governor of California.
I forgot. I had not heard that.
There's a picture of Mark Paul Gosselaar actually like getting his hair dyed blonde again, which is the crazy thing for me. I heard him on the Rich Eisen show really quick. That I did. So he's not a natural blonde.
Right.
He dyed his hair always for the show. And he's like, it's a wonder I still have hair that it's not falling out. But what's blowing me away is that he's dyeing his hair again. They're not just giving him a wig.
Right.
Yeah. Well, paycheck. You know?
Yeah, I remember it wasn't until it was Dead Man on Campus. Like when he showed up in the movie Dead Man on Campus with dark hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's so weird. And then I figured out it was his actual hair color.
Yeah. But what's weird is that they're dyeing it now. And he's on another show.
Yeah.
Currently now. Like he's on what's the Blackish spinoff?
Grownish?
No, not that one. It's the one about the mom younger.
Mixedish.
Yeah. He's her dad.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I'm not keeping up on his career at all.
Yeah, but I want them to bring back Dustin Diamond somehow. That's what I want. With all of his trouble.
Where is he now?
That's my point. I don't know, but I want them to make it okay and have him be back on the show.
Right.
So that's my one hope and wish that they can make that happen.
Yeah. Or get Colbert to play him.
Yeah.
I want Jaleel White's character to come back. I think Jaleel White's character should be used as one of the kids in the new one.
Maybe as a professor.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Science professor. But no, I can't see. Nothing comes off the top of my head as far as I can recall. Again, it was very fleeting when I watched the episodes. Just remember moments.
You just want Zack to finally get his comeuppance.
I do, but he never will. It's he fails forward. He never learns from his lessons, and he always gains more followers as a result of his misdeeds.
Yeah.
Right.
And then.
So you want Zack in cuffs?
Oh, he deserves to be in cuffs, but that'll never happen.
He slept his way through high school and he got a 1502 or 1501 on his SAT.
Yeah, and he goes to college.
And went to Yale. Or got accepted for Yale, but then when they did the college years, they're in California.
Right.
Or like UCLA or something like that. I forget. Anyway, though. Okay. So that's Saved by the Bell. Switching gears really quick. You've probably heard Tommy and I over the past couple of weeks talking about picking episodes of DuckTales and Justice League Action to watch. This is basically the story here. So I'm a big fan of DuckTales. Tommy's a big fan of Justice League Action. Clifton and Frank are already fans of both. So anyway, so Tommy and I both agreed to watch episodes of either show to try and bring the other one around. So we decided that after we were done watching the shows, we're each going to pick 5 episodes from each show that we're going to talk about it on this show. So we thought we'd release a list of the episodes for you guys to watch. So if you guys at home want to follow along with us, you can. Here are the episodes. So from Justice League Action, these are all from season 1. Episode 5, Timeshare. Episode 6, Repulse. Episode 14, Time Out. Episode 19, The Brainbuster. And Episode 15, Captain Bamboozle and Keeping Up with the Kryptonians. All right? From DuckTales, we have from Season 1, Episode 3, The Great Dime Chase. Episode 6, The House of Lucky Gander. Episode 20, Sky Pirates in the Sky. And from Season 2, Episode 6, Last Christmas. And Episode 9, The Outlaw Scrooge McDuck. We'll post these episodes on letmeknowhowitis.com also for you guys to check out. That conversation will be released Wednesday, April 22nd. So you have until the 22nd to catch them all. DuckTales episodes can be found on Disney Plus, and Justice League Action can be found on Hulu. And we also want to close up by reminding you to check out our website at letmeknowhowitis.com, where you can find all of our past episodes. And we also post some episode notes on there that contain links and examples of some of the things that we talk about for each episode. Also, you can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/letmeknowhowitis and follow us on Twitter at our show's initials at LMKHII. Thanks for listening, everybody. Be safe, and we'll see you in a week.